Well, at the strike of 9 o'clock, we are live. What is going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to a very special edition of Technoid. This is my subscriber special. For those of you that are MMA fans, thank you for returning as always. And to those of you clicking on for the first time, you're in for a treat tonight. Now, I usually do this whenever there's pay-per-views for UFC. I usually do this mostly by myself alone, but most of the time I am also joined by my friend Sneed Mobile Tech, who is also a advocate for UFC. Both of us really love it. I love it a lot. He loves it, so we come together and we take a break from tech and we talk UFC. So tonight I will be either by myself or he'll jump in. But we will be discussing UFC 254. We will discuss, in my opinion, what is probably one of the best Fight Island cards we have going right now. And I will discuss my picks and predictions on who I would like to win, or who I would like to see win. Now, again, this is a subscriber special. This is something that I do only once a month or whenever it's convenient. I don't tag this. This is not something I look to spread out. I don't look for this to be my main source. This is only a subscriber special. This is a special only for if you are subscribed to my channel. So, let's do the roll call real quick. If you are clicking on for the first time, I am a tech show host. I run a tech show called Technoid, but every once in a while, I like to branch off. I like to do other things. So, if you like the content, if you like what I bring to the table, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you do not miss when I upload. To returning subscribers and returning MMA fans, thank you as always. Make sure you hit that like button. Now, before we start, I just want to announce that a lot of people are probably busy tonight. So if you're watching this on replay, no problem at all. No worries. You can catch it. And if anybody joins in, thank you. I do appreciate you coming on. So tonight we're going to discuss UFC 254 Khabib versus Gaethje. Now, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I don't know, man. I don't know. Who would have thought that this would be the card that we are going to see? What should have been Tony Ferguson, it turned into something else, and for good measure. And I got to tell you guys, I was not expecting this. You know, a lot of people, when they saw Tony versus Gaethje, everybody thought Tony was going to win. But Sneed and I, we looked at it, we said there was a possibility that Gaethje would win that fight. There was a big possibility. And that big possibility became a reality when Gaethje not only beat Tony Ferguson, captured the interim title, but now we have, for the second time in the UFC, where a champion has to fight an interim champion for the second time. The only champion that has done that is Brock Lesnar. But of course, we all know about Brock Lesnar, of course. So, this to people is a walk in the park for Khabib. Everyone is already sleeping on Gaethje. Everybody's already pressing their luck on Tony, possibly fighting Khabib after. And a lot of people are really pushing their luck with this. So, this is an interesting fight. Not only for Gaethje, but it's an interesting fight all around. So, let's start off with the main card. As you can see, we have a nice lineup of fights. A lot of good matchups tonight. And before I discuss the main card, I want to shout out the prelims. A couple of fights I would like you guys to take note of. Stefan is on the card, fighting on the undercard. You got Cowboy Alex Oliveira. And then on the early prelim, if you're lucky enough to catch it, we've got Alexander Yakovlev and Yoel Alvarez. So that's definitely a good lightweight match to watch out for on the Fight Pass early prelims. But taking a look at the main card, we have got a good pay-per-view tonight. Now, I'm only going to do the main card, and of course, that's it for tonight. I'm not going to be on here for too long. So I hope you guys stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So let's kick it off with what seems to be the first matchup. The rematch that had everybody ripping on that referee. The rematch that they claim is also just as cursed as Tony Ferguson versus Habib, Iwan Kutelaba against Magomed 2. So, of course, the Hulk against Magomed. So this fight, when we first talked about this, I had predicted Magomed. Sneed, I don't know what his pick was, but after looking at the result of the first fight, we could obviously see there was a big mistake in the call. Not only was Iwan trying to win an Oscar for the best performance of getting rocked, but the referee really thought he was out. But of course, that was not the case. But in this case, in the rematch, this is a very interesting approach because now Iwan, or whatever you're going to call him, he has to really make sure he doesn't repeat that mistake, which I don't think he will. But Magomed, this time around, should feel a little more confident this time around because this is your second outing and you kind of know what to expect from Iwan Kutilaba. So there should be no excuse. But I will say, Iwan is definitely a beast. And Magomed is a killer with the front kicks. So with that being said, for the first pick, I'm going to go with Magomed. I really enjoy Magomed. I love his performance, and I'd like to see him evolve in the division. So for the first pick, I'm going with Magomed. Next up, the next fight we have on the card is Laura Murphy in a flyweight bout against, again, I'm really not good with names, Lilian Shakova. So this is a nice flyweight matchup in the women's flyweight division. I'm actually interested in this match for Lauren Murphy because she's in the top 5, so she's just kind of trying to kind of solidify herself in this division because, there aren't really too many challenges out there, but we have the division fully coming into blossom. And I really would like to see Lauren Murphy win this one. She's doing really good so far. I'm really impressed with her. But at the other flip side, Lilian Shakova, don't know too much about her, but I will say I've seen some of her earlier performances. She's a very, very good fighter. But for me personally, because I'm watching this division and I'm enjoying where it's going, I want to see Lauren Murphy come in and pose a threat to the flyweight division for the women's sake. So, quick pick, Lauren Murphy. But of course, people will debate and say whether I'm right or wrong on that pick, and that's completely fine. So this actually is the makeup fight that was originally supposed to be Islam Makhachev and Rafael Dos Anjos. So this match, as you know, RDA pulled out because of coronavirus, and Islam Makhachev couldn't find a replacement fighter. So they swapped the fight with Jacob McCollum against Philip Hayes. This is an interesting middleweight bout because we have another middleweight bout on the card, but this one is another good one. I've seen Philip Hayes, and he's really excellent to me. I really enjoy his performance. But on the flip side, I don't know much about Jacob. It seems that this is his debut fight. It indicates right here. So this will be his interesting first go in the middleweight. But I am actually kind of looking forward to it. Whenever a fighter comes in to the UFC in a debut fight, I am actually really, really excited because I truly love to see what we bring to the middleweight division and what they bring to the competition, period. New debuting fighters. But on the flip side, Philip Hayes, he's awesome. Philip Hayes, honestly, is a great, great fighter. So this one, I'm going to have to say the jury is out on this one, but not for any reason because I don't want to pick either or, just because I want to enjoy this one. So I'm going to say jury is out on this one. Now we get to the bread and butter of the cards. This one is actually a very interesting matchup and something that I'm looking forward to. We've got Alexander Volkov against Walt Harris. Now, this one, to me, is a very interesting matchup for Volkov. Volkov has been on a weird run. It was 2 years ago that Volkov was about to challenge for the UFC heavyweight title, and when he took that loss from Derek Lewis, it hasn't been the same. He lost to Derek Blades. He's lost to a couple of other guys since then. He had a few wins, but he hasn't been able to break back the top 5. And now that he's the top 10 now, you're going up against Walt Harris. Now, we all know of the sad tragedy of Walt Harris, which it is a sad tragedy of what happened to Walt Harris's family and his stepdaughter. Condolences. I cannot urge condolences. It was terrible what happened. And I really feel for Walt Harris and his loss to Alistair Overeem. I apologize. It was crushing because I really wanted to see Harris win that match. But to me, looking at this matchup more for me is really a matter of Volkov really trying to, keep himself in the top 5. Because for me, Volkov, I used to look at as really the dominant challenger of the division, and ever since then, he has not shown it. So I feel this is more of a must-win for Volkov, but at the same time, I do also want to see Harris win this, just for a satisfaction for my own personal self. So I'm going to go with, even though I want to see Harris win, I also want to see Volkov just a little more, keep himself in the top 5. So I'm going with Alexander Volkov for that fight. But make no mistake, Walt Harris should definitely win because of everything that he's gone through. And also, I do believe that he has what it takes to beat Volkov. But I still pick Volkov regardless. Now we get to the co-main. This one is a very, very good fight. Robbie Whittaker against Jared Cannonier. The gorilla against the reaper, or the killer gorilla, because we don't want to mix up with Darren Till. Jared Cannonier is a very interesting fighter. We've watched this guy come in from heavyweight down to light heavyweight, and now has solidified himself as a true middleweight contender. It's so crazy how one man is able to jump to 3 classes, and then you go down and you find more success. And Jared Cannonier has found tremendous success. I remember when he fought the Joker, everybody was like, oh, he's not going to win. That's not going to do anything. And when he beat Joker, I was like, yep, he's ready. He's ready. And with Robbie also is coming off a good win on Darren Till, but also he's still the number 1 ranked in the middleweights. So this is a very good fight for either one of these guys. Not only for Jared, because if he wins this, as we know, one of these two is getting a title shot right after this, whoever wins. The thing is that a lot of people could see Robbie taking the win because of his experience as a former champion and being able to kind of rule the middleweights. But at the flip side, Jared Cannonier is no joke. Jared Cannonier poses a true power threat. And to me, I would like to see him take on Izzy Adesanya because we've already seen Robbie fight. So we don't need to see a rematch because it might just be the same thing. But on the flip side, it is interesting to see if Robbie can definitely get some, fixes in his game from the last fight against Izzy. But Jared Cannonier, to me, poses the biggest threat. The biggest threat to me in the middleweight division if he beats Robbie Whittaker. And I'm really, really excited for this matchup because if you look at the stats on paper, this could go either way. Both of these guys are almost equivalent. There's a little bit of difference in there. But at the end of the day, I don't see this fight going past maybe the 3rd round. I mean, if it goes to the decision, that's it. But I would like to see a 1st, 2nd round knockout, and I want to give it to Jared Cannonier. That's just me. And now we get to the main event, the final matchup of the night, Khabib Nurmagomedov against Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Now, we've already talked about Khabib. We know he's a dominant champion. He, to me, is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. Khabib Nurmagomedov is the real deal. Khabib is the best. However, everybody's sleeping on Justin Gaethje. Everybody talking about Justin Gaethje, saying that he's not that good, that he is not the highlight reel, that he will lose in an easy fashion. Let me tell y'all something. This was the same crew that said Tony Ferguson was going to sleep Gaethje. This was the same people that said Gaethje will never be a contender. Now, I don't know who said that, but I've heard people say that. This man, Justin Gaethje, is a honey badger. You guys know what a honey badger is. They don't stop. They'll take damage and keep coming. And in the case of Gaethje, he is a wrestler turned striker. He has dynamite in his hands, but he prefers to be a stand-up. Now, of course, his wrestling background will have to come into play. But again, I'm not trying to pump up Gaethje because, again, everything that you could say about somebody goes to shame once you're stepping in that octagon. And in the fallout with Khabib, everybody has had a game plan for Khabib. Everybody has a game plan. But nobody can ever pull it off once Khabib grabs a hold of you. And I think that's where Gaethje is focusing and what I like about his approach. he realizes that what these people do and what he needs to do if he wants to put pressure and beat Khabib. He can't back up against the fence. He has to make sure he keeps his stance and has to pose a threat. Now, of course, Gaethje's leg kicks are something to behold. Now, I will say, if Gaethje can get a few of those leg kicks and start working from the bottom with Khabib, there might be a chance he could pull this off. But we've said the same thing about so many fighters. We've said the same thing about so many people. And every time we've said that, Khabib has just dominated in dominant fashion. So while I'm not going to sleep on Gaethje and I'm going to give respect to Gaethje, and I do believe there's a chance he could pull this off, Khabib is right now the best in the world. So I'm going with Khabib. Dominant wrestling, dominant fighter. Once he grabs a hold, you're not getting out. So I'm interested to see what Gaethje brings. I'm interested to see the power, how he can use it. And I'm really interested to see what Khabib does. Khabib, we know, is going to try to tire him out. He's going to try to take him out at all the chances that he can get. But I'm really interested in this matchup, and I cannot wait for the card. And that's it. 15 minutes, 16 minutes, we're done. So that is my UFC 254 predictions. Now, of course, this is all my opinion. This is not factual. Of course, there are going to be MMA fans that come in the comments and say, oh, you're casual. This is a terrible prediction or whatever. And you know what? That's fine. I'm cool with that because I always like to debate. And also, it's always interesting to see what people call people nowadays. But I will just say this. I am excited for this card. I don't know what's next for Khabib. That's a topic for another time. But we'll just have to wait and see Khabib versus Gaethje. Again, it's on 2 in the afternoon on October 24th, this Saturday. If you're ordering pay-per-view, definitely check it out on ESPN+. If not, y'all know where else to go. But that's going to do it for this episode of Outside the Cage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit that dislike button. That helps circulate the videos either way. Thank you all for watching. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and peace.